False. Black history. Today we're honoring the life and legacy of the Nobel Prize laureate who would use nonviolence to push America towards integration. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. MLK was born in 1929 as Michael King, named after his father Michael King Sr. His name actually didn't change to Martin Luther until 1934 after his father learned about the German Protestant reformer Martin Luther. He then changed his name and MLK's name to Martin Luther King Sr. and Jr. MLK was a brilliant student who entered college at 15 before going on to pursue his doctorate. MLK was catapulted to fame during the 1955 Montgomery bus boycotts. The boycotts ensued after Rosa Parks refused to give her seat to a white man on a bus, but this also happened to Claudette Colvin in the same community months before. For 385 days, no member of the black community of Montgomery, Alabama rode the bus, meaning everyone walked, biked, or carpooled to wherever they needed to be. The boycott was a huge success, and after 385 days, the legal decision was made to desegregate all public buses in Montgomery, Alabama. King's nonviolent approach is what made him the face of the civil rights movement. He worked to address things from voting rights to desegregation to labor rights and everything in between. King was instrumental in helping organize the March in Washington, which occurred in 1963, and it was at this landmark event, on the steps of Lincoln Memorial, that King recited his famous I Have a Dream speech, which called for integration, peace, justice, equality, and overall a better future for Black Americans. King was pivotal in helping pass legislation during the civil rights movement, from the 1964 Civil Rights Act to the 1965 Voting Rights Act to the 1968 Fair Housing Act. In 1964, for his efforts, King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Given the very sanitized version of MLK that we have today, it's very easy to assume that during his lifetime he was this loved figure who was just helping gently move integration forward, but that could not be further from the truth. At the time when he was alive, MLK was loved by the community, but he was seen as a radical and a troublemaker by the US government and by everyday Americans. During the course of his lifetime, he was frequently spied on by the US government. He had many attempts upon his life. He was arrested over 30 times for his participation in boycotts, protests, and marches, and on April 4th, 1968, he was assassinated. MLK Day became a national holiday in 1971, largely due to the efforts of his wife, Coretta Scott King. Although MLK is no longer with us, his legacy of service lives on through his family, but also through everyday people who choose to be of service to their community. So thank you, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., for teaching us to be bold, to use our voices, and to never be silent about issues that matter.